Hey guys, welcome to another Freelancer Masterclass video. Today we're going to be talking about how to crush it with freelance article writing. You know, one of the things a lot of people don't realize is that about 30% of all freelancers offer some kind of writing skill as a service. That's a lot. That is the largest contingent of freelancers out there is writing. So the reason for that is the written word is both needed by every company and so diverse. It could be anywhere from an instruction manual that you specialize in writing, technical instruction manuals, or you do something like informal blog articles or writing books or editing or copywriting. There's a list a mile long of all the different specialties that you can go in terms of writing. Today specifically, we're going to focus on article writing, which in itself could be a lot of different niches. But here are 20 sites that I found that pay you at least $100 an article. It's not hard to find. I could have easily went on and found 50, 100, 300 sites. Really, I just did a few Google searches on pay writers per article, something along those lines, and all these sites came up. They all have a Write for Us site usually or a page usually in their footer. That was one of the Google searches I did, is Write for Us, and I did that in quotes, so it searches that exact phrase. And these came up, and if you look at them, they pay at least $100 an article. And these are all .coms, by the way. So if you go to greatest.com, it shows, I believe they're at $125 per article. But so if you want to look into these a little bit, just freeze frame this video right here. And then go ahead and just write these down and reach out to these companies. But you know what? $100 is nothing. Okay, you deserve more than that. It's really hard to make a living off, doing $100 projects here and there. You have to be very diligent in both your prospecting and your work. So what I recommend is making more money per article or more money per hour for your time. So number one tip, go to LinkedIn and start connecting with magazine editors. Magazines are great, or magazine editors are great people to connect with, because magazines in themselves are recurring work for writers, and they're very niche on a specific topic, which is a bonus. So if you can say that you specialize in recipe writing, right? So you can go to any food magazine and they may contact you once you're in their inner circle and say, hey, I know you specialize in writing about Mediterranean dishes. We're doing a feature article on that, or we have a chapter, or I'm sorry, not a chapter, but a section in the magazine. Well, we need at least 3 articles this month on Mediterranean cuisine. Just as an example. So go to LinkedIn, start networking with magazine editors. Once you start connecting with them, you're going to find that they're going to be networking with you. You're going to be posting to LinkedIn your articles. You can comment on whenever they post something and start developing a relationship that way. There are some overnight successes in writing, and that is going back to the previous page and just going to the Write for Us sections and just saying, here's who I am, here's a sample of my work, and you can get some work that way more than likely. But the slow way to build your network and to get referral work is to go to sites like LinkedIn and start connecting with these editors. And they don't have to be magazine editors. It could be any type of editor, really. And then also find jobs on popular job boards. These are people that are looking for work writers right now. Remote.ok or any remote jobs site. Go ahead and go to Google and type in remote jobs. There's a lot of sites that post remote jobs. Indeed.com, right? Monster.com, career builder. Just make sure that they're either in your area or they're okay with remote work. And the great thing about writing is that a lot of it does not require you to be in office. So it's a great field for that. Cold emails. So what I recommend before just blasting out emails is to find your niche and be an expert in that niche. So get a writing sample of that niche and just start pitching to people who would hire writers in that niche. So if you are a financial article writer, right? If you like day trading, for example, and you want to write about that, go to a whole bunch of day trading websites. I don't recommend purchasing a list, although a lot of companies do that, because if you purchase a list, those people who sell you the list will also sell it to 1,000 other writers, and those just go straight to spam boxes, even if they are valid emails in the first place. They're often not updated a lot, those lists. So just scrape the web with some cold emails or do some searching. You can hire an assistant, a virtual assistant on Upwork. in the Philippines, India, whatever, for a few dollars an hour, and just tell them, hey, I need as many emails from managers as you can get me in this industry. And they'll go to the websites, they'll go ahead and contact the right people, and they'll say they'll ask, who do you have in your company that hires writers? And then you just start creating a database. You could probably get at least 20, if not 30 or 40 a day with that strategy. Not jobs, but at least context to add to your email database. Another thing that I've been doing lately that has been working well. I'm not an article writer, although I do write a lot of articles for myself. But something that I've been doing a lot lately to get exposure is I'm a guest on a lot of podcasts. Okay, so what you would do is you would reach out to podcasters who have an audience of not writers, but people who would hire writers, so business owners, managers, that kind of thing. And you would reach out to them with a sample question and answer sheet and say, here's some questions you can ask. Here's a topic. Of course, you have to have a topic. Why you don't want to hire average writers, or why a great writer can pay for itself, something like that. And you write out 7 to 10 questions. And you keep the answer sheet to yourself. You don't give them the answers, but you say, hey, Mr. Podcaster or Mrs. Podcaster, I love your podcast. I'm a subscriber. And here is, don't say something that isn't true. Subscribe to their podcast and say, listen, I just gave you a 5-star review. I would recommend doing that before you reach out to them. You'll see my review on iTunes. Hey, can I be a guest on your show? Here is a topic. Here's some sample questions. And if you spoon feed them that, there's little to no reason that they won't have you on as a guest, because they're always looking for guests. Be careful though. Those podcasts that don't have guests on will shoot you down right away. But most podcasts do have guests. Okay. Be a speaker. That's another thing. It's a little hard. And one of the things I would recommend is get a good topic, get a good niche, and then reach out to local companies. Even meetup.com has a lot of people that need speakers. Rotary clubs, for example, always need speakers, and there's some in every city. And then just say, listen, I'd like to give a talk on whatever, the importance of article writing. I'm being super generic now. But again, being a speaker, you have an audience full of CEOs or managers. I mean, nothing's better than to be able to shake someone's hand and you are on stage as an expert. If that is your thing, you like to be on stage, or not even maybe on stage, just in the front of a room talking about your expertise. That is a fantastic way to build your writing career. Okay. And you get paid a ton more for it. I mean, think about the last time you saw somebody on stage and how much you'd be willing to pay them if you could afford them. I mean, you're not talking about $100 articles here. You're talking about getting them on some kind of monthly retainer for $2,000 or $3,000 or even $1,000 or more every month, right? Big tip: find and know your industry inside and out. If you market to everyone, you will attract no one. Okay, so get familiar with a particular industry: finance, pet food, balloons, whatever, balloon making. There's a lot of underwater basket weaving. There's an endless amount of niche. What I suggest is find within yourself your hobby, what you're passionate about. I know a lot of really successful parents that write about being a dad or being a mom. There's one person in my city here in Sonoma. He's crushing it. He writes about being a stay-home dad, and he's making a ton of money. He's built a whole business around it. He started off article writing, and now he has this very popular website and blog, and people pay him to be featured on his blog. They'll pay him a few $100s just for writing a post on social media about him. I mean, it's this guy he's making bank. He even has a few full-time people working for him now. I think he's called Super Dads or something like that. But that's an example of picking a niche. I mean, this guy was a stay-at-home dad. He liked to write, so he started writing about his experiences as a stay-at-home dad and keeping his kids entertained and blah, blah, blah. So pick your niche, go do it, and offer more than article writing. As I just mentioned, this particular person now offers social media posting, and you can do more than just blogs. You can do social media blogs or social media posts, affiliate marketing, all sorts of great stuff, okay? So that's it in terms of, oh, wait, there's one more tip here. I want a little inspirational tip. The first few gigs are the hardest. You're just not going to go out charging $1,000 or more for a post unless you're already very specialized. So most full-time writers, if you're salaried, make between $35,000 and $50,000 a year. If you utilize the tips I taught you, if you do a couple speaking engagements a month or even a year, you become an expert in your expertise in your chosen niche. There's no reason why you can't surpass 50,000, 100,000, even $250,000 a year. Just go to Upwork and look at the amount of people that are making more than 100,000 a year doing article writing. I mean, it's crazy, and they all have niches. They all will tell you exactly who they can serve and who they can't serve. Okay, so go out and crush it on article writing. Yes, there's a lot of you guys out there that are doing it. There's no reason why you can't make a great living doing it. So go out there and crush it being a writer. Good luck.